How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the Mando Bros. It's your boy Big O Nuggets, and with me is my boy.
Yo, what's up? It's Eagle Heart.
And today we're gonna be covering episode 11, "The Devil's Deal," for the Bad Batch. And I gotta say, this episode was a little bit of change of pace. Previous episode 10, was a little bit a change of pace as well because episode 8 and 9 were just absolutely jam packed with action. We get Cad Bane, and then we get Fennec versus Cad Bane, and I feel like they're kind of slowing things down too, to like a big build up in these next couple episodes, or I believe almost towards the end of the series, because I feel like we're almost close to the end of season 1 for the Bad Batch. But the other great thing though is that the Bad Batch, this particular episode, is highly influenced by Star Wars Rebels. So if you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, we highly recommend you check it out. Because this is pretty much like a origin story, right, Eagle, for Rebels.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Kind of how it all kind of
and
comes
and they
together.
really tie in, from Clone Wars to Rebels, and this whole season up to today. Like, the Bad Batch has been really like bringing in the Clone Wars and Rebels really, really well. We get to see past characters, and just like how they've been building this, filling up those little plot holes or little loose ends that we didn't really get to see in the previous end. But I've been digging it. I like the little change of pace for this episode. I think it was great. I like the little origin story and like the little build up that they're doing here. What were your thoughts on this episode, Eagle?
I liked it. It was a little slow, but overall, though, it was still really good to see, Harrison Dula young and everything. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, and I think I've seen a lot of the Rebel community, Star, because there's a really big Star Wars Rebel community, that they really, really did enjoy this episode too, in particular. Well, without further ado, guys, let's just go ahead and dive into it. And my boy Eagle is gonna go ahead and take it off, man. Let's get it.
So what? So here we start off in Ryloth, and just getting over the Clone Wars. There's a little bit of distress and uneasy. We see some of the insurgents show up, because they're not liking it that the Empire just rolled in to try and take control. And we see Commander Rampart, Senator Targ, Chaz, Howzer, and Mama Sendula, and they're all talking about the unrest that's going on, and they're gonna try and announce, and kind of calm the public if they can. But when Senator Tark starts talking, no one, none of the Twi'leks wanted to listen to him. They all started chanting for Chaz right here. And General Chaz comes and, with the sweet poetry of how he usually talks, calms the crowd and makes everyone feel a little more comfortable. I mean, there's still a little more unease, but Mama Sendula, man, it was good to see her in the episode. To
Absolutely.
see kind of how Hera what takes from, which a lot from her mom, and then we see Hera Sendula right here with Chopper, our boy Chopper, and they were both spying on a refinery. And as Sendula lays back, she's just dreaming about flying in space, living in space, but eventually she gets caught and gets sent towards her dad, which is kind of an interesting thing because when Commander Hauser comes to talk to General Chaz, he's not acting like a normal Order 66 soldier.
Yeah, that's
He
exactly
seems,
what I was thinking throughout this part.
yeah, he was real calm because usually, I mean, Wrecker tried to kill Omega in the last in the episodes ago. It like, and here we get Hauser like calm, like a normal clone trooper. So, did his chip fail or get damaged, or is he able to withstand it better?
Yeah, that's
which
the
I
big
do.
question going on right now in the community with,
Yeah,
especially with Hauser. And also,
yeah,
if you look, he's the only clone that still kind of has
yeah.
his,
Has
like a
his
design, like a color to him too,
that
distinguished.
teal. I know
And
I
if we look at
like
all
it.
the other clones, all the other regs, and even others, like they don't have this kind of,
Yeah,
pattern. This is like from the Clone Wars. Like she's still in the Clone
pretty
Wars,
much.
with the different patterns and stuff. So I agree. I think the question right now is Hauser, did his chip malfunction? Is he one of the few lucky clones that didn't get their chip fully,
Yeah,
activated? Because throughout, as we continue throughout the episode, we'll see like, he becomes very hesitant. He becomes very, questionable. And like Eagle
right.
said, I mean, with Crosshair and with Wrecker, I mean, they were ready to execute Order 66 and any traitors to the Empire. And it seems
Yeah.
like Hauser was really more lenient, and
Well,
understanding.
yeah. I mean, it seems like all these clone troopers are a little soft, you know, not so gung ho
Yep, I agree.
and stuff. And then we see Mama Syndulla telling Harris, you know, to just go. I'll take care of it. Basically, like what mothers usually say to their kids when their dads are upset. And here we see, oh, I forgot his name, Chaz, and basically his brother, I'm guessing, because they call him Uncle.
Yep.
And he's talking. The uncle's talking about he ain't liking it. There's something going on, and Chaz says we need to take it slow and see where what's going to happen. But the uncle wants to take it further because he's not liking it at all. And here we see Senator Tar and Rampart and Crosshair, and he's revealing what he looks like for the first time after getting burned.
Yep.
Shaved head, and it looks like he has this giant scar on the side of his head near his inhibitor right there, and it looks like a pretty big chunk that's missing. And it does not look one bit that his skills has diminished.
Nope.
He seems more angrier and uh, more determined now
And then
that his blood got
also on
away.
this scene, we get to see the senator kind of plotting with the Empire. Really, you can see the difference between the general, because I feel like they have some sort of agreement about what's going on with the Empire coming to Ryloth, and that
Yeah,
the general has no idea about it, because he's mentioning how the general can really sway the people of Ryloth, and how we saw in the beginning, as you mentioned, that
mm-hmm.
no one really gave a shit about what the senator had to say, but when the general started speaking, everybody listened, and so they're saying that everybody has their part to play, and
Yeah,
yeah, and just looking at Crosshair again with this helmet off, I was like, damn, he's looking a little bit more clean and angry and ready to go, like you said. I actually kind
yeah,
of dig this look with the scar
yeah.
and everything.
Right. And you could tell Senator Tarb is jealous too
Yep.
because he has no power on Ryloth
Nope. Not
versus
one bit.
which General Chaz has and stuff. And here we see the father daughter moment. Chaz trying to explain to her what's going on and how things need to be, but Hera just doesn't understand and just has a small little attitude that you know because she just wants to fly and want to get out of here. She doesn't really want to be stuck on Ryloth anymore, as we could see in Rebels and stuff. And here, Mama Syndulla and Chaz taking a trip into the refinery, and Mama Syndulla notices there's a lot of weaponry protecting this refinement, and wants to know. I thought this was going to be basically a civilian base without soldiers. But of course, like the Empire does, they lie and weasel their way through. And
Because they're keeping things away from them. They're not telling him why they
Yeah,
need all
everything.
these troops, all these weapons. I thought, like you said, I thought it was gonna be an outpost. So Syndulla is definitely very, cautious. While
Cautious, yeah.
the general is like, we gotta trust them. This is how we bring peace to our people, peace to the people of Ryloth. But I feel like he's trying to get peace in any means, and if it means becoming, bending down for, the Empire for there to be peace, I feel
Yeah.
like that's what he's willing to do, which is kind of
Yeah.
sad in my opinion.
It is, but you could tell too that he's kind of tired. Doesn't want no more fighting.
Yeah, especially
It's
after all the
almost
Clone
like,
Wars stuff that happened. I mean, it was, I
yeah.
just can't imagine. Um,
So,
and so we continue with Hera going on with her uncle, pretty much saying that they're about to go for a supply run to smuggle weapons back into Ryloth because as we see in the scene where Howzer brings Hera back, all the citizens of Ryloth are pretty much turning in their weapons, so they're defenseless now against the Empire because they were asked to put up their arms because now they have the Empire protecting them. And so Hera's with them, and he's saying, your dad doesn't want you to come, and you said no more spying, and then he's like, well, I was actually gonna let you fly the plane, and that's where he gets Hera, because as you know, and as you know in Rebels, she is a pilot, and she's always dreamt of flying, and so he convinces her that he was gonna let her fly the ship and go in, and then we see Crosshair out here, planning a tracker, tag the ship to see, where they were going and what's going on. So I believe they already had their suspicions of the uncle, trying to do some shady things already. And so we see Hera flying as a kid, she's actually flying a ship, and again, just seeing her here, and then seeing her in Rebels is just like, she's come a long way to where she's at, which is really, really dope. So they're going up to, I guess, a moon, right? I feel like they pulled up
yeah,
to a moon to meet up with their
uh,
contact. And
that's
guess
right.
who pulls up? And they're freaking, honestly, one of my favorite ships in Star Wars is none other than the Bad Batch. And I was telling Eagle, this is the funniest shit ever because only the Bad Batch would literally cameo in their own freaking show. The whole start of
Pretty
the show
much.
was, about Ryloth and Hera and stuff like that, and now we get the Bad Batch, pretty much doing their own cameo, which I thought was hilarious. That shit was funny as hell. And then we see them bringing in their weapons that they're trying to smuggle in. And then we get to see a very interesting interaction between Omega and Hera, which I feel like they became kind of friends, You get to see, Hera's perspective and, Omega's perspective. We see Omega, I guess, growing up with the clones. They're more of a, like Tech said, more of a tactical thing. Like, you got to know everything about this ship, the sensors, the buttons, before he can even let Omega fly. And Hera's like, that's only part of being a pilot. To be a successful pilot, you have to feel it inside of you. You have to be the one using the instruments. And I love that philosophy. That shit's cool because that's how you know that's a very skilled pilot. And Hera in Rebels is actually a very freaking skilled pilot. So you get to see this moment to Rebels. It was just so freaking cool to see all that. And like I said, they pretty much became friends, and Omega is just showing Hera around, and so as they are ready to leave, we get to see the Bad Batch dip out. They gave the weapons out, and so our boys are out for the rest of the episode, and the Bad Batch Hera and her uncle are going back. One interesting thing though, and I don't know if you saw this, Eagle, on Twitter, the person who actually made this episode said that he was a little too late to really animate a picture. So this particular scene right here is actually a photo that he took from the plane over Mexico. So this is not animated. This is a legitimate picture from he took that he just threw in there because he was running late for the he didn't finish up the animation, and so he just threw this
Wow.
picture of him of pretty much outside of Mexico, which I thought was crazy because he posted it. He tweeted it out today, the day of the episode releasing. He says, "Who can tell which what scene is the picture that I took from my plane? That's literally from Mexico." And this is the only picture in the whole scene that looks very realistic, you know.
Right.
And as soon as I saw this, it clicked, and yeah,
Yeah.
he liked my tweet, so we must have got it right then. So that's funny. That's really really funny. I'm not gonna lie, because I said this looks way too realistic to be animated. No lie. But yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but and anyone else in chat
No, I
knew
did
that or
not.
watching the
That's
video.
awesome. That's awesome.
So we get to see them pull up. They see the Imperials approaching the ship because they're the ship being tagged. We see Crosshair, like Eagle said, that whatever injuries he took from episode 9 really didn't phase him, or episode 8, because he's still one hell of a shot, shooting out the engine, causing them to crash land and to have the clones pull up on them, and pretty much capture them with the money. I mean, drugs, the weapons that they're smuggling into the planet. So they're caught red-handed. This is it. You're caught, and they're gonna be set up for treason. And this is where I really start to hate the senator, because even if he's trying to say that Cham's behind a rebellion, that he's trying to do all this, and he's just jealous, like Eagle said. He wants to just throw Cham under the bus, the general under the bus, as and he's pretty much gonna execute Hera, his daughter. And so we get that the general get a message from his I would have believed these are the insurgents, right? I would assume these are the insurgents. Saying that Hera got captured and that they need to go rescue them. And so we have a pretty cool fight scene coming up here, where we see the insurgents. Which, if you look at this little creature here, and I know because I forgot about this, but this is the same creature from the Mandalorian, which I thought was really cool. And I know this is used in other scenes, right, Eagle? And in Star Wars, the same little creature.
Yeah. Yep.
And so as we move in, they're gonna seize control of the ship. We get to see them fighting, trying to take over the truck where they're in, and taking out the clones and the speeders. But you can notice the difference, guys. We'll check something out real quick with the rest of the insurgents are actually using live blaster fire, killing the clones, while the general is just stunning them. He's just he does not want to kill them. He is just actually stunning him. And so we see the senator freaking out, saying what is gonna happen. And we see Rampart pretty much saying, let's just chill and let's just turn ourselves in. We're done. So I kind of didn't expect him to play that kind of move. But again, I feel like he's playing a game of chess and everybody's playing checkers, because he's always one step ahead. So as the general gets everybody out and they get, Hera, they're all standing out in line, in formation. And the general's about to murder the senator. But with Hera being up front, and we see his wife pretty much saying there's gonna be his time will come, just not today. And then what I thought was awesome was Rampart was like, "Well, Senator, your usefulness is over." And then we get to see Crosshair pretty much eliminate the senator as more troopers come in, and Rampart pretty much says, "Hey, arrest this guy for the assassination attempt of was it Nora Free? What? How do you pronounce his name?
Orn Freetop.
Yeah, the senator." And we end off the scene here, and even and then here's another moment that we were talking about. Howzer, it's pretty much like Syndulla girl won't get far, get her and kill her, and you can see he's just standing there with his helmet off, just contemplating, like, holy shit, like.
All right.
Like whether or not he's actually gonna do it. And then that ends off our episode for today, guys, for the Bad Batch. Like we said, heavily influenced by Rebels. It's pretty much an origin story that we're getting here in the Bad Batch, this particular episode.
Now thinking about it, I don't know episode 12 will be on Ryloth. Because they showed Kanan Jarrus, and they never went back to him. It was just like boom, we seen him. That was it.
Okay.
Now we see Harrison Dula running and hiding now. I don't know if we'll see because I wouldn't know. I mean, unless someone calls Sid to, hey, we need help.
That's what I
You
was
know,
thinking. Either they reach out to Sid or something. The uncle, because the uncle's still alive, and I think he
True.
escaped. So either the uncle calls or Hera calls or something. Bringing the Bad Batch back to Ryloth. I'm thinking I think next episode 12 might be that. I'm thinking they might come back to Ryloth. I think that's what might go on. And just Howzer though, I feel like Howzer's chip is not active. I think he's just following orders, because he's still a soldier.
Yeah.
But I genuinely don't think his inhibitor chip is on. I really don't. I really do not think Howzer's inhibitor chip is on. Like we said, just looking at him in this episode, with all the hesitations that he had, he's just like, okay, General, but like he took a second to react and said, do this, do that, and he just hesitates for a second, contemplating everything, and then he says, okay, but lots of hesitation. Like you said, different personality than a clone actually under Order 66. I genuinely think Howzer may not be under the control of the inhibitor chip. I just think he's just following orders. That's my theory on Howzer.
I have a feeling maybe Chaz knew about the inhibitor.
Okay.
And got rid of it. Maybe, it helped him get rid of it or something. But then again, we see the scar on his face. Maybe he got into a pretty big fight, hit his head pretty hard.
Yeah, causing the inhibitor chip to malfunction. And since he's been here with them since the Clone Wars, again, I just feel like he's just following orders.
I mean, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, the title, I was not expecting it to be on Ryloth.
Yeah, honestly, this episode threw me off guard, but again, it was a great episode. I liked it, and I like the references. I like the connections with Clone Wars and Rebels. Everything that they're doing has been very, very solid, very, very cool. I've been enjoying it a lot. Let us know your thoughts.
Now I'm wondering, because I'm wondering now if we're gonna see a young Ezra,
potentially,
and how he was able to survive, when the parents got captured or taken or however it was. It's been years since I've seen Rebels.
Yeah. So, we might have to touch up on Rebels, but let us know your thoughts on on this episode of The Bad Batch. If you're a Rebels fan, let us know your thoughts. If you're not, what did you think, and what could we be getting in the next episode, guys? Let us know, and hell yeah, we'll be ready for the next episode, ready to go, and we got a lot more Star Wars content coming your way, everybody. So thank you guys for checking out our breakdown. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and Eagle Heart, let's send the people out.
May the Force be with you, for this
is the way. Thank you.